Yo, it's your boy, RayMabry, and on today's video, I'm going to tell you about the best kept secret in real estate investing. Just as my title states, the best kept secret. This is a strategy or a niche that very few people know about, and those people that do know about it, either one, they've tried it and haven't had success with it, or two, they just tried it and just felt and they have had success with it, or three, they haven't heard about it at all. So I'm going to just introduce you to this particular niche in the real estate industry, and I'm going to be providing more and more videos with more details in the days to come. All right, but before I get started, let me introduce myself. My name is RayMabry, full-time real estate entrepreneur here in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. I've been in this business over 8 years, and I tell you, it has changed my life and my family's life, and I really enjoy real estate and what it has to offer, what it has done for my family, and what it can offer for you and your family if you get involved. But without further ado, the two things that I'm talking about, whether you've heard about it or not, is one, tax overages, and then two, surplus funds. Tax overages, which is also referred to as excess funds, excess proceeds, overbids, and then surplus funds, which can also be referred to as state funds or just anything that, money is owed to you that's been held by the state. But here's why I believe that these two particular niches are just like the best kept secret. And this is something that I really enjoy, that I like about the tax overages and the surplus funds versus even wholesaling, which that's what I mainly specialize in, is real estate wholesaling. And that's, like with the tax overages, basically what happens is, when we're prospecting for wholesaling and we're, say, reaching out to people that's in pre-foreclosure, which means that they're currently behind on their payments, we try to catch them before the property goes to sale, okay? But sometimes we don't catch them. Sometimes they kind of blow us off and say they have it taken care of, or they just kind of ignore us. And unfortunately, they end up losing their property, all right? So with the tax overages, what happens there is the people actually got behind on their taxes that's owed on the property taxes. And so after a certain period of time, they end up getting foreclosed on, okay? So what happens, and this happens more or a lot more frequently than even like a foreclosure in and of itself, is that the properties are end up selling for more than what's owed in the back taxes. And so let me give you an example. Let's say a person got behind on their property and they owe $10,000 in back taxes. Well, that same particular property could be worth $100,000. And so normally what happens is they have a sheriff sale where people come out and they bid, in a public auction. And let's say by some chance that property goes to auction and it sells for $50,000. That means there's a $40,000 surplus or overage on that particular property. Now, people may think, well, where does that money go? Because remember, the investor, they're getting a $100,000 house for $50,000, so they're still getting a deal on that property. But legally, that overage, that $40,000, it belongs to the person that lost the property to the tax foreclosure, the previous homeowner. The person that owned the property that owed $10,000 on the property, anything above and beyond what they owed on the property, legally, that money or that overage belongs to them. That's legal. That's across, the nation, the United States. Like legally, that money belongs to the homeowner. But a lot of times people, they look at it, they say, okay, I got behind, whether they lost a job, divorce, death, just illness, something that caused them to get behind on their taxes, and they feel like all is lost and they lost their property. But what we do is, as investors, or like we call ourselves like asset recovery people, or even investigators, is what we do is we locate these folks, get a list, we locate these folks, and we kind of reach out to them like we do with wholesaling, and we kind of let them know, hey, if you own this property out here, then there's a possibility that you may have some money that's owed to you, and we get them to work with us, for a percentage of the overage. And so the way we get paid is, let's say for this example, they owe $40,000, and even if you charge 10%, that's $4,000. If you charge 20%, that's $8,000. And of course, if you charge 30%, that's $12,000. And so whatever you're able to recover, you charge a percentage of what's recovered. And the great thing about it is it costs the prior homeowner no money out of pocket. The money comes from the proceeds, the overbid, the excess funds. And so therefore it costs them no money out of pocket. And if you're able to recover the funds, you get a percentage, and of course they get a percentage. And you can rinse and repeat that and do it over and over and over and over again. So some of you may say, well, Ray, why don't the people just file a claim themselves and basically cut you, the middleman, out? Which they can. They can really do that. But a lot of times people don't know about the funds, because typically when a property does go to foreclosure, what the county does, let's say the people that held the foreclosure, they normally send a letter to the previous address, the property that was foreclosed on, which the person no longer owns. They normally send a letter stating that, hey, you may have some funds, reach out to us, we can, help you out or whatever. And, or if they do happen to send it to the people's current residence or the address, then it'll be marked in an envelope or a letter where you look at it, kind of appears to be like spam. So a lot of times people just kind of throw it away because they think it's spam. But either way, they just do very, very little work to try to reach out to these previous homeowners to let them know that they have money from the overage of the property. So therefore, the people, they just don't know about it. Because think about it, if you lost a property to foreclosure, a lot of times you kind of like out of sight, out of mind. And so you don't really follow it to see what it sold for, or see who purchased it or whatever. But by law, anything above and beyond what the person owed in the back taxes, it belongs to them. So you as the investor, it's your job to reach out to them and say, hey, you got some money out here, and if you want my help, I can help you try to recover it for a fee. And then you can let them know that, of course, your fee comes from the monies that you're able to recover. That way, it costs them no money out of pocket. And all you do is rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So the reason I like this even a little better than wholesaling now is because with wholesaling, what we try and do is we trying to find a property and get it for rock bottom price. Of course, add our fee on top of it and then sell it for a discounted price to an end buyer. The concept still works. It still works. I mean, it's a very, very profitable business model. But with the tax overages, the money, like the property's already been foreclosed on. So what we trying to do now is we trying to help the people recover the money that's owed to them. Concept is a little different. Now, one of the biggest objections you're going to get in this industry is people are going to think it's a scam. They're going to be like, oh, I lost this property years ago or whatever, or you're a scam or whatever. So you have to make sure whenever you reach out to them, you know what to say and how to say it to grab their attention, and then get them to listen to you, and of course, convince them to be able to work with you so you can help them try to recover those funds. And what I'm doing now is I'm showing some of my students, and I'm also creating a mini course on how to do exactly that, because I've been in sales for over 25 years. This is something that I'm passionate about. This is something that comes natural to me. And when you know what to say and how to say it, you can position yourself for success. So the tax overage, that's tax overages 101. Surplus funds is a little different, but still the same concept. Let's say you had an old bank account, and for whatever reason, banks go out of business sometimes. Maybe like insurance money. Let's say you had insurance money that for whatever reason you didn't know that somebody had you as a beneficiary or whatever. It kind of it's held by the state. And there's a lot of other different things where the state is actually, like, let's say insurance, just you overpaid in insurance, or you overpaid in a bill, or let's say it's just a lot of different things where you can have money owed to you by the state. And once again, they'll reach out to you one time to see, hey, you have this money, but they just hold that money for you. And so with the surplus funds, same concept. A lot of times they kind of cap you on what you can charge. Like I know in California, which is one of the hottest areas to work surplus funds, the maximum you can charge is like 10%. But let's say if it's $10,000, it's only $1,000. But let's say if the person has $100,000 owed to them, which is very, very feasible, that's $10,000. And of course, if it's $1 million owed to them, once again, that can happen. Now you're talking about $100,000 that you can charge up to $100,000 on that one foul. But anyways, I just want to introduce this to you. As I stated before, you may have heard about it, but just really never given it any thought or whatever. But I'm telling you, I think you really need to seriously consider look at tax overages and surplus funds. tax overages and surplus funds. And as I stated, I'm going to start talking about these two strategies more in depth in the next coming videos, so stay tuned, all right? Before I go, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, RayMabry. Also, if you're interested in, if you like the information I provide for you, and if you're interested in helping the channel grow, I'm also going to include my Cash App and my PayPal link if you want to donate to the channel. You're under no obligation, and no, I'm not here begging, so I don't want to be like, oh, Ray begging for money. No, that's not it. But you know, sometimes people feel like they want to give back, and so if you feel like you want to give back to the channel and help the channel out, then by all means do that. I would greatly appreciate it. You know, and if you have questions, obviously don't hesitate to ask. But look into tax overages and surplus funds, because I'm telling you, there's going to be some huge opportunities out there. There's huge opportunities coming down the pipe. I will go in more in-depth discussion on, you know, what it is, how to do it, and all this stuff. And as I stated before, I am working on a mini course, and I am introducing these strategies to some of my current existing students. But anyways, thank you for your time. I appreciate you. Make sure you go out and continue to change people's lives, help people out, have a servant mentality and a servant attitude. Hey, how can I help you? How can I make your life better? And I assure you that money is going to come your way. Money is going to find you when you want to go out and you just have the right attitude and the right heart to help somebody and make somebody's life better. Until next time, this is your boy, RayMabry, about to sign off. Peace.